Hi everyone and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Part 2 of our review of ranked duel cards that you can get in this game. So like I mentioned already in the previous video, in this particular part I'll be discussing, well, rarities that I haven't discussed in the previous video. So in the previous video we discussed super rare rarities of cards and also normal rarity cards. So here we'll be discussing rare rarity cards and also ultra rare rarity cards that you can get from ranked duels. And like I mentioned before, yeah, there are many cards, okay? So these videos are made so that you know how it is wise to spend your precious card tickets, on what cards you should spend them and whatnot. And yeah, like I already mentioned before, many of these cards that I haven't mentioned, you can actually get from leveling up characters or from farming characters at the gate. So these cards I'm kinda not mentioning. So I'm here mentioning only like exclusive cards that you can get in ranked duels. Simply because, like I mentioned already before, you have kinda like each and every month limited ticket pool, if it makes sense. So you should spend these tickets wisely. Okay, let's start off with ultra rare tickets. So yeah, we have a lot of ultra rare cards here, and unfortunately, actually many of them are good. So the reason why I say unfortunately, because each and every month you can only get one ultra rare ticket. So yeah, you should be very wise how you are spending that one precious, your precious ultra rare ticket, Okay, let me bring my list here once again, so I have this list of cards that I already wrote here, which are good. So the problem is to find them here, in the game. Okay, so the first card is Armed Dragon level 10. So this is not a must-have, but sometimes it is actually used in these rogue Armed Dragon decks. They are not kinda like meta-defining decks, they are just decks for fun, but sometimes they appear on ladders. So if you are playing these decks, definitely get this card. So next one is also kinda like roguish card, Simorgh Bird of Ancestry, which is sometimes included in Simorgh decks, which also don't appear too often on ladder, to be honest. So next one is Voltanis the Adjudicator, which is a good card to have in counter fairy decks actually. So okay, next one is let's see. Here we go, Shuten Doji. It's good card in zombie decks. In these decks which kinda utilize banishing and whatnot. But honestly though, so far I haven't seen this card to be used too much. But I think maybe in the future it will have more uses. We'll see. So okay, next one. A card that I'm a big fan of, Dynatarium. So the thing is about this card is just good fodder for everything, and the more time goes on, and now we will have this Xyz era, so the more this card will be good actually. Yeah, it's just good fodder for everything. It's good fodder for your tribute summons, it's a good fodder for your synchro summons, and it will be also good fodder for your Xyz as well. So yeah, definitely get this card. It's one of the must-haves, I think, now, especially since we are entering Xyz era. So yeah, Dynatarium is definitely a wise choice in regards to these ultra rare tickets here. So okay, next one is Evil Storm Salamandra. So this card is good in Dino decks, which are kinda going extinct, to be honest, but still, sometimes they appear And if you play dinos, definitely get the salamander here. So, okay, next one is also pretty good card that you should definitely get, Amazonas Princess. So yeah, this card is a must-have. It's a staple in Amazon decks. So definitely, if you play Amazons, definitely get this card. This card is just insane. It's one of the key cards there. So, okay, next one is Psychic Aso. Not always, but sometimes this card actually sees play in Cosmo Brain decks. So the thing is about this card, you can tribute it via Cosmo Brain's effect, and when it's tributed, you can destroy one card. So yeah, and also, you know, when you use this Cosmo Brain's effect to tribute Psychic Ace, then Cosmo Brain activates her effect to summon more monsters. So it's kind of like ridiculous what is happening on the field there. So, so yeah, you can basically flood the board and also dispose of some unneeded opponent's card that way. So yeah, when I was playing around Cosmo Brain, I remember I was actually using Psychic Ace a lot there. So okay, next is let's see, Elemental Hero Grand Merge. And once again, about these cards, as you can see, I'm not reading their effects simply because I'm advising you to pause the video, read these effects yourself, or just, you know, look these cards up yourself and read their effects. I just simply don't want these videos to take forever. So that's why I'm kind of not reading the effects. So, but yeah, Elemental Hero Grand Merge is an occasional include actually in Hero and Neo's decks. So yeah, this card is really good there. Especially if you're going for lethal, then this card really helps out to achieve that goal. So okay, and next one is dreaded Avenging Night Parshat. Oh my god, I have like so much nightmares in regards to this card alone. That's kind of ridiculous. So the reason why it's good, it's not because of its effect or something like that. No, it's mainly good because of Rebirth of Parshat trap card. Only because of these cards that utilize that freaking counter trap. That's why this Avenging Night Parshat is good. So, and I hate these decks like so much. Yeah, they are definitely one of the most difficult decks to play around. You know, they are one of the most difficult decks to deal with, in my personal opinion. So, okay, next is now we are heading into spell cards. So yeah, we talked about monster cards already. Surprise, surprise. As you can see, a lot of monster cards, but again, only a handful of them are good. Well, actually, here it was kind of like better situation than in super rare card section. So yeah, but still. So yeah, speaking about spell cards, so one of the cards that you should definitely get is Oja Match. Well, by definitely I mean, you know, out of all of the card pool that we have, these are the ones that have most potential. Like, so that's why I'm kind of talking about these cards. So Oja Match is only used in Armed Dragon decks, which are kind of roguish decks, and that's pretty much it. So, but the next one is used much more frequently. It's Silent Doom. So Silent Doom, not always, but sometimes is actually included in Blue Eyes decks. So there it's really good. So when I didn't have some key cards in Blue Eyes decks, I was actually, yeah, substituting some cards with Silent Doom. So okay, and now speaking about trap cards, we also have only 2 trap cards here which are worth your time, worth your attention. So one of them is Statue of Anguish Pattern, which is really good in these trap monster decks. And the other one is actually Starlight Road, which I think will get better and better as the time goes on, because it's good against mass destruction. So now we don't have too much of these cards, which destroy 2 or more cards on the field. Well, the only one elephant in the room that I can think of is actually Treacherous Trap Hole. But aside from that, nothing else, really. But I think, yeah, the more time this game exists, the more it is updated, the more this card, this Starlight Road, will get better. So, and yeah, that's it for Ultra Rares. So now, let's head into Rares. So let's see, so the first card of interest here is Armored Cybern. Sometimes is included in Cyber Dragon decks, so it's kind of like a support card for these decks. So you can get that. Next card of interest here is Tyranno Infinity, which can be actually experimented in Rogue Dino Banish decks. There it kind of works wonders sometimes. So the next card is, let's see, Mist Valley Shaman. So I included this card not because of its groundbreaking potential on ladder or something, no. This card is actually good in met farming decks. So yeah, there, this card is sometimes used. So next is, let me first find you. Here we go. Dragon Core Hexer. Also used in one particular roguish deck, which is actually quite fun. It's used in these Blue Eyes Bish Balkan decks. If you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, look them up. They are just amazing. They're basically focused on summoning this big freaking ass synchro monster, this Bish Balkan, you know, and then you can perform this Bish Balkan lockdown, and then some interesting things happen on the field, and yeah, yada yada. So yeah, this card is good. Okay, next, Gladiator Beast and the Beta. It's not a must-have in Gladiator Beast decks, but it's a nice option actually to have sometimes. So okay, and that's it for monster cards. Now let's head into spell card section. So the first card of interest here, no, not the power converter, no, not the pain to power, but Chaos Distill. Also, really nice card that benefits these decks that banish cards, you know. So any deck that benefits from that, yeah, should actually use, I think, this card. So the next one is, let's see, Transmodify, which is good in these decks that kinda use level shenanigans and whatnot. And also because it kinda special summons from the deck, that's also why it's good. I think this card was actually sometimes used, if I remember correctly, in Magnet Warrior decks, yeah. But I think it can have some use actually in other decks as well, so. Let's see, next card. Also, Elephant in the Room card, the Sanctuary in the Sky. So, yeah. You don't need to have it, but you know, if you are playing some particular fairy decks, you actually need to have it in your deck. You don't want to, but you need to. It's kind of like this kind of scenario, you know? So, yeah. So it's kind of like a key card in some fairy decks. Okay, now let's talk about traps. So the first card of interest here is actually Power Sync Stone. It can have some groundbreaking effect, some kind of lockdown effect, you know, if you use it to your own advantage, and in some decks that can use this advantage really well, this card can work actually wonders. So yeah, it's a really good card if you take advantage of it. It's, yeah, one perfect example where it can be used very nicely is actually Triamid decks. Yeah, there, this card works really good. So the second card is, we're speaking about traps, Hallowed Life Barrier, which is good in stall decks, but overall it's generally speaking really nice card as well. So here's the thing about this card, it has one particular secret that it's not telling you on its card text. So let's read the card text first. So discard one card from your hand, this turn any damage you take from your opponent's cards and effects becomes 0. So you may think, you know, oh, this is applied when the damage is kind of like dealt to me? Well, no, it is also applied when damage is dealt to your monsters. And you might think, well, okay, yeah, my monster will be destroyed and I'll take like 0 damage, right? If you're thinking logically, yes, but here's the thing, for whatever reason, the card text for this card is not changed, but the way how Hallowed Life Barrier works actually is that when you activate this card and when opponent's monster ramps into your monster, you know, to destroy it, and you activate Hallowed Life Barrier, what happens is that your monster is actually not destroyed. I don't know why, but that's how it works. And you also take 0 damage, you know. So, yeah. This card is really good. And many people, many people, they kind of don't know the secret effect of this card, where the monster is not destroyed, you know, and sometimes some interesting things can happen on the field, so... Okay, and the final card that is worth your time is, let's see now... Covering Fire, which is kind of like mini budget Mirror Wall and Wall of Disruption, and that's pretty much it. So if you don't have these two cards, yeah, you can just substitute them for Covering Fires. And that's pretty much it. So, but yeah, that's all the cards. So we discussed everything that there is in ranked duels in regards to these cards. As you can see, a lot of cards, many of them trash, and you know what is trash for me. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are bad cards, it's just that, you know, they are kind of like super situational cards. So yeah, here I was more discussing cards which are good now, which will have some potential in the future. And also, remember, this is my personal opinion. I'm not a god or something of Yu-Gi-Oh, you know. It's just that I was basing my opinion on the observations that I had in this game, and I played this game for a while now to make these assumptions and whatnot, so I think you can trust me. I hope you can trust me. You can trust me, right? Well, I think you can. I hope you do. So, no, but really, yeah, that was just my personal opinion, you know. I definitely advise you to check all these card pools for all of these card tickets actually yourself, you know, and maybe you'll find some cards there which are personally good for you, you know, so you may never know. So, and yeah, I think this will be it for today. I think I pretty much touched upon everything here in regards to cards. So yeah, many cards there are which I haven't actually mentioned. I already told you that before. You can get them from dueling at the gate or from leveling up your characters. So these cards are kind of not worth your precious ticket, ranked duel ticket, to waste for, simply because you can get them by other means. So, and honestly, making these videos in regards to which cards are good and whatnot, you know, Card Trader, these two videos that I made currently about ranked duel cards, they're actually pretty hard to do because I have to, you know, like compile a list of which cards are good and then read their effects and then search some info about them. So yeah, it's a bit of pain in the ass. So hopefully my work is appreciated, hopefully my work is not going to waste, and hopefully someone will find these videos useful. So, but yeah guys, I think I rambled long enough, and see you all in the next video. Cheers!